how to read the quartets. If you're not a poetry reader, you might struggle with these quartets. But for Eliot, you're supposed to read them and enjoy them before you fully comprehend them. You're supposed to savor them, listen to the words, listen to the rhythm of the poems, listen to their meter, the way they are teaching you to listen, to attend, to be receptive. There's a lot that's happening when you read the quartets before you can make sense of their meaning. And I think it's important to understand that experience of Eliot's poetry. Not to discount the meaning of them. As I said earlier, he is a philosopher. And so there's so much of his work that can be read philosophically, and that the questions can challenge the reader and deepen one's understanding about our world and who we are. These particular poems deal with questions about time that we'll dig into. How do we understand history and our place in it? How do we understand the role of tradition and its influence on us? How does the eternal, or the kairos, touch this present time, the chronos? What's the relationship between a God who is divine, who always was and is and will be, and these creatures that we are, in which we are here and now in a temporal reality, but also part of a larger story. He's also asking questions about the purpose of art and how to write these things. Right? I mean, if you're a poet who's also a philosopher, why write this as poetry? Why not write a philosophical dissertation? Why not write a treatise on these things? And of course, Eliot writes a lot of prose. But why do these questions demand a poetic experience? What is being gained? What kind of poetic knowledge is being rendered by using this form and addressing these questions in this way? So the journey through the quartets is one where we move from misunderstanding or confusion or mystery or questioning, not necessarily towards answers, but towards resolutions, towards hopefully an exaltation and ascension, a way of looking up, a way of seeing things in a larger reality, in a clearer picture that's also still mysterious and retains that mystery. I think it's important to consider the pilgrimage as ongoing. As Eliot begins to question what time is and what time's doing, the questions aren't going to be answered because the journey doesn't end now. The journey ends later. And yet he's still able to have a resolution in that knowledge once that knowledge becomes part of us. The quartets, even just the phrase quartet, also clues you into this reading is going to be musical. The way that Eliot patterns his poetry, he is attempting movements. He is trying to repeat intentionally so that every time a word is repeated, it takes on greater significance and an understanding in a new way, in a new context. And so one of the key ways to read the quartets is to kind of be listening for these certain tropes and ideas and themes and questions to be repeated. The ones that I've listed here, the four: air, earth, water, fire, also ideas of the garden, the underground, the still point, even the purpose of language itself and what words mean. And of course, seasonal imagery is here in the four as well.